Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am hoping that this stream will bring me the audience that I so desire. And so, thank you for me and coming over to this channel. I know I'm late this morning, but I had a couple of personal things that I had to do. Just trying to get set up because this is my first time using YouTube Live, but I'm so excited. If you are in the chat, just go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, as well as like and subscribe. If you have not liked and subscribed to my page, go ahead and like and subscribe to my page. I'm so excited to be on today. Today is just a beautiful Tuesday. I hope everybody is having a great Tuesday. Today is a good day to wake up and win and live with purpose and live with purpose. And every day is a purpose-filled day. That's what we were created to do, to live on purpose. It's not a destiny, it's not a destination, but it is something that you conscientiously do every day, is to create a day that is purposefully led and purposely fulfilled. And so that's why you set your intentions for everything that you do. Everything that you do. I'm just trying to make some adjustments onto the camera to get the best view. So that my face is not cut off. But anyway, so today is day four of a personal journey, using the 7 days of creation to manifestation. And it's mainly my personal journey. And so today is day 4, and I named it Light, Stars, Action. Light, stars, action. And you think of like a movie, a movie. When you think about light, stars, and action, you think about what happens when you're on a movie set. You are the star, and the lights are all surrounding you. And then when the camera turns on, it's activated. Can you believe that? That it's all about you. You are numero uno actor. And so when you think about day 4, which we're getting ready to get into, day 4 is about you activating the wisdom and the knowledge that God has given you. And so you become that main character in your own movie. Just sit and think about that. You becoming the main character in your movie. So before I move on, share this and like and subscribe and give me the thumbs up, and also comment in the section that you are here and that you are live with me. I welcome everybody. And if anybody doesn't know me, I'm Dana McDuffie, inspirer, teacher, dreamer, and entrepreneur. And I'm here sharing my story, sharing my story and what God has laid on my heart, and giving inspiration to transform people's lives so that we can be the best version of the spiritual beings that God created us to be. So hi, Jacqueline, how are you? Give me the thumbs up, like and subscribe, and also share Sisters to Dream Network and Investment Group's YouTube channel. I just want to say welcome. And so we are on day 4. And from now on, I will be streaming from YouTube Live at 11 a.m. I was kind of late this morning, had some personal things to do, but we're going to get right in. So day 4. So we're not going to have a PowerPoint like I usually do with prompts and everything. So until I get used to this new platform, then I'm just going to help you follow along. And if you have any questions, feel free to inbox me, and I'll answer any questions or give you, any guidance or input or any insight. So we're just going to get ready and get started. So day 4 comes from Genesis 1:14 through 15. So I'm using the NIV Bible, and I also want to make note that I use the Metaphysical Dictionary by Charles Fillmore. I use the Metaphysical Dictionary by Charles Fillmore because I break down the words as it pertains to the mind metaphysically. So let's recap. So we had day one, which was illuminate. And so we just want to, and illuminate was the foundation of where you are spiritually. Remember, I said that everything that you do should always be spiritually based. That is so important. Every decision that you make, everything that you do, you should think about it in the spiritual aspect of everything. So I remember I said, my pastor said long time ago, go spiritual. And I often wondered what he meant by that when he said to go spiritual. And what he meant was any decision that you make or anything endeavor that you're going to do, you must think about it spiritually, because what God gave us that first. He created us in his likeness. And he said in his word that we are spiritual beings and we have to worship him in truth and in spirit. And he is a spiritual being. And so therefore he created us also too as spiritual beings. And so day one was just to assess where you are spiritually with God. Because in order for us to continue to manifest and manifest as it pertains to creating, we have to assess where we are with him foundationally. We cannot change how things should go. We cannot go from the top down. We have to work our way from the bottom up. And so that means we have to establish our foundation, get our mind together, and get that power, that word, and then create and then manifest. And so that is so important that we go through the process and we go through each steps of that process. And so day one was just like, let's turn the light on, just get the light on and get ourselves in tune with God and come up with a plan of how we're going to do it through meditation, through word, through how. Are you still there? I'm sorry. I think my Wi-Fi went out and I'm not on Wi-Fi. I am connected to the internet. So sorry. But anyway, what was I saying? Man, I lost my train of thought. But anyway, so we have to, be in a position issues. I do apologize. This is my first time using this. I tried it out to make sure that everything was going to work correctly. But of course, there it is. So I'm going to continue to pick up. So anyway, so as I was saying is that what we Thank you, Jacqueline. So the ways to be with God in nature, taking a nature walk, sitting with God, going by the ocean, whatever it is that you do to hear from God. There is no specific way. Everyone's way is different. Wait one second. I hope everyone is still there. I am so sorry that this is happening. I tested it and I tested it, and now I'm having issues. Let me see if I turn on the Wi-Fi, if that would be better. But anyway, I want to continue on, and that is why I was late, because I wanted to make sure that I did not have any technical difficulties, but it's okay. I'm going to continue to go on, and hopefully my Wi-Fi will kick in, and any instances that I do have a delay, I do apologize. So anyway, day two was the vault. And if you remember, so the sky is where all of your encryptions, your combinations, your secret codes, everything is in between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. And remember, your subconscious mind is your habitual thinking. And so do is to break the habitual thinking so that we can start tapping into the vault. And sometimes while we're not able to transition into the conscious mind, and that is the mind of Christ, the divine mind, the divine mind that holds all ideals and ideas and, just supreme thought, is because sometimes we have barriers. And remember, I gave you that wall of all the barriers, some of the barriers that you can have that's preventing you from activating the conscious mind and walking in that mindset. And that is the mind of Christ. And so day 3, we talked about Oceanside. And so that's just your view of when you're sitting at the ocean and how the waves ebb and flow back and forth to you. Ebb and flow back and forth to you. And when I was talking about your thoughts and how your thoughts continue to, flow back and forth to you. And sometimes we never reach out and grab them and allow them to make landfall. And when we do allow them to make landfall, then we start the vegetation process. The vegetation process is that we start planting those things on dry land in the ground so that they can produce and multiply. And so I believe I gave you a brief story about how I activated that with my daughter. And so today is lights, stars, action. And so let's go ahead and read the scripture. So it says in Genesis 1:14 through 15, and it says, "And God said, let there be lights in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, days, and years. And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on the earth." And it was so. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to govern the day, which is the sun, and the lesser light to govern the night, which is the moon. He also made the stars. And God set them in the vault of the sky to give light on earth, and to govern the day and the night, and to separate light from darkness. And God said that it was good. And there was evening and there was morning on the 4th day. So what I want to concentrate on is light and the stars. And so we can break that down into light on earth. And let the lights be in the vault of the sky to give light on. All right. So first I want to break down some words. So according to the Metaphysical Dictionary, light means illumination. When you have illuminated and become light, that means you have some wisdom, you have some spiritual insight. And so it's almost like you're using your gut to lead you. And so, light is spiritual inspiration, spiritual guidance. It's you have sat with us and talk about stars. And then sun can be labeled as a supreme source of spiritual intelligence. The sun is the highest form and the supreme source of spiritual intelligence, according to the Metaphysical Dictionary. And then the moon is personal intelligence, and the light is supplied by the sun. So the moon cannot get any light. It doesn't get any light from anywhere else. It gets it from the sun. So the sun, holds it all. The sun holds all the light, and it's the supreme source of spiritual intelligence. And then we have earth, which is the physical body. So if we go back to where it says, "And let them be lights in the vault of the sky to give light on earth. So he said, let there be lights in the vault of the sky. Remember, the vault is where your secret, your process and your solution to get to the next phase of your purpose, of your life, of your dreams, of your desires, whatever it is that God created you for to walk out. That is in the vault. And we're supposed to be seeking and entering into the vault and knocking on that door to see what is the combination that will open up God's kingdom that lives within inside of us. And so we're supposed to be sitting with him, meditating, in prayer constantly, because the first thing that God gave us was our spirituality. And if he gave us our spirituality, then we must first use that day in and day out to keep moving and moving forward. And so, like I said, remember, purpose is not a destination. Purpose is something that you're supposed to be living by and living with daily, doing things intentionally with intention to walk out a purpose. And so every day is a purposeful day. And we should have that in our minds that today is a purposeful day. I live with purpose. I was created on purpose to fulfill a purpose. So anyway, so let there be lights in the vault of the sky. And so remember, so when you're going to the vault, sometimes the vault is in areas of dim light. Think about where vaults are. Some vaults, I know I did some research on vaults. Some vaults are down in the bottom of a cellar. And so there's not a lot of light down there. And then some vaults, are behind, enclosed spaces. And so there is not a big illumination of light. So when you think about this, when you're trying to tap in to get the solution for your situation, whatever situation it may be, it's dark and it's dim. It may not be any light there. So you're still tapping into the vault, into the sky, into that place where it holds your secret encryption, your combination, whatever it is to resolve your situation, to break down those barriers so that you can get to the other side. And so when you think about the vault and the amount of light that is there, it's not much. And so with a hint of light, it's almost like, oh my goodness, I'm on my way. I have tapped into it. I'm starting to the area of where God is going to reveal his plan and his process for me. I see that I'm having a couple of streaming issues. Hope that this will be resolved pretty soon. I am so sorry about this. And then let the lights in the vault of the sky give light on earth. And so when he says let the light to live your full potential, to live your full potential. To live your full potential. You see it in the physical sense. Think about it. You actually see it in the physical sense. And when we think about earth, mind. And when we start to do that, he gives us light so that we can physically actually see what he has shown us spiritually. Station. Because we have to actually see it. And so I remember when I told you that I had sat in the church one day, and was in the back of the church, and I said, it has got to be more than this. I saw people running around the church. I seen people laid out. I saw it all. And I sat there and I said, Lord, it has got to be more than this. Because I was praying, fasting, seeking God, and the stuff that was coming from the pulpit that I so wanted to be relevant in my life was not manifesting. It had not manifested into my life of where I can see evidence of it in the physical aspect of it. I was still going through trials and tribulations and things of that essence, and I just could not. And so it was because what came to me when I was trying to, go through, my journey, it's like almost like I had a syntax error. That's like a computer program. A syntax error is when, you're trying to use a program, but there is an error, something that you have not put in, like a semicolon or parentheses or something to connect the program together so that it will work properly. And so for me, although I was fasting and praying and asking God, I still never saw the manifestation of what I heard from to actually come and to manifest, and that I could see it physically. Because I was tired of going to God saying the same thing over and over and over again. I remember one time he told me, don't come back and pray to me that same prayer again. I couldn't figure out why. It's because I did not have a semicolon or parentheses, the right semicolon or the parentheses, or I had omitted it. So it was causing an error. It was causing like a misfire. And so that with that misfiring, the programs were not being connected. And I'm saying all that to say is that I into the conscious mind of God. I was looking at it on two different planes. I never put it all together. I never realized that it was all together, that everything was interconnected. And it wasn't until my girlfriend came to me and said, Dana, it's time for your healing. And so when she told me it was time for my healing, she had me to renew my mind and seek truth, not just in one way of spirituality, but in several ways. And it's opened the doors for me because we are so for me, I had to look at my spirituality in a different place. And I can't even say that I was being spiritual. I was being more religious. And that means I was habitually doing things that gave me no result or no resolve. I was doing things that gave me no results and no resolve. And so until I opened myself to other forms of connecting with God and allowing God to innately speak to me by tapping into that vault, and for him to give me the spiritual wisdom and intelligence, then I started seeing things manifest in my life. So the vault is like, remember, I said it's the secret codes to unlock the process, the plan of how to move in your situation. Into the vault, it's going to be light, stars, action. It's almost like your life starts to activate. It activates before your eyes. And you're in goodness. Is this what life is about when you're actually using spirituality of God, the supreme being? When you start walking and activating who he said that you were, And so what I had to do is I had to first connect with the mind of God, because I didn't really know who I was. I did not know who Dana was. I identified myself as, my parents' daughter. I identified myself as somebody's wife. I identified myself as somebody's mother. But I did not know who I was. And so I had to do mirror work, and I started having to do I am. So think about this metaphysical dictionary. It's Jesus' identity. Jesus' ego shows up in the subconscious mind. It's a speck, a star in the vault. A star. I'm going to repeat it again. According to the metaphysical dictionary, when the Jesus identity, which is described as the Jesus ego, so that's the ultimate mind that we desire to have. When that shows up in the subconscious mind, now we're not thinking habitually, but when we allowing the mind of Christ to show up, it's a speck of light, and it's called a star. A star. So you are now activating and you're being led by the Jesus ego. And so now you become the main character of your own movie, because you are being led by light, which is wisdom, the spiritual intelligence of God. And you have allowed it to seep down into stars action. Me, I had to step outside of religion to seek truth. My mind had to be transformed. And remember, the scripture says that we are supposed to renew our minds on a daily basis. So how we used to think of things, we can no longer think of the same way. We have to seek truth in all things. In all things. And God will reveal truth to you in however he reveals things to you. And you have to come to know how he reveals the truth to you. And so the truth is revealed through me, because I am almost like I'm a researcher. So I seek truth out. I go to several different sources, and I sit with it and I allow God to download on me. I seek truth. I remember the last time that I went to church, and I went to my husband's church. And for some reason at that time, I still was seeking truth. I was still looking for a man to give me a sign, something. And I never forget, I went up there to get prayed for. And he laid hands on me and he said, "May you always seek truth. You've been seeking truth." And I was like, "Yes, I have." And I knew at that moment that I was on the right path, that I was continually to seek truth in all things. Because the only way that I was able to transform my mind when I transitioned to Charlotte, North Carolina, but it was at some point that I started questioning not my move next. And instead of sitting and waiting and continue to allow God to download, I had reverted back in some aspects to a mind of habitual thinking. And so that's why God says that we have to renew our mind on a daily basis, and that we have to stay in his presence continuously, because those habits will come back And you will ask yourself, how did I get here? How did I get here? How did I get back after you have taken me all the way to this point? Now all of a sudden, I'm back here thinking the way that I thought before. And so I had to go through another journey. So this journey, I left my position at a well-known bank. I had only been there for not quite 2 years, but I knew I wanted something more. And on this journey, I was pursuing my insurance business on my own. And that's where God taught me about my faith. And that unlocked the door to another level of using the mind of Christ. That journey, the journey of transition from me moving from Maryland to North Carolina, I thought was hard, but it wasn't. But this, it's almost been a year. So this journey right here, from October to February, so that's October of last year until February, was the hardest journey of my life, where I had to really transition my mind and to move forward. That was the hardest journey, because I left my job and I felt good about leaving, because I felt that in my heart that I could do it, that I could create nothing. So I felt like I could do it. But what God taught me was about my faith. And my faith had to grow to another level. And then also God showed me how my husband saw the vision and was in so much of a support. That was the hardest journey that he and I had went through. From, I want to say, it started out good, but then, things started to happen, and you start second guessing yourself, but you still have to tap into the area. And I remember God was downloading on me continuously and continuously and continuously. And my husband said to me, Dana, he's giving you the instructions. And I was like, oh my God, he is. It was to the point where he was like, shut everything down, because I was not listening. I was not inherently listening to him, because he was giving me instructions like clockwork. And he said, Dana, he's giving you the instructions. Keep moving forward. And so I had to do some more work on me, getting into the star, the Jesus ego, because I needed that star to shine in my vault, to unlock and get a microphone and start telling your story. And I was hesitant about it. I was very hesitant about it. And I said, okay. And so one of my girlfriends came and she visited me, and she had this opportunity. And I said, oh, okay, well, maybe this may be the mantle for me to start. And so that's when I started Social Saturday with Dana's. I started Lunch and Learn on Wednesdays, and I started speaking to entrepreneurs. But it wasn't until recently, where in August, I dedicated that month to him, because that is my month of transition, of when I transitioned from Maryland to Charlotte, North Carolina. And month 8 is just so important for me. It wasn't until then, until he gave me Hebrews 11, verse 3. And I think I read it to you all last week, and I'm going to read it to you again. Let me just turn there. 1 second. Hebrews 11, verse 3. By faith, we understand that the universe was formed at God's command, so that what is seen was not made out of what was visible. What was seen was not made out what was visible. And so when I sat there with that and I allowed God to download on me, that's where I came up with the topic, a person using the 7 days of creation to manifestation. And that is where it unlocked for me about what am I supposed to be doing on a daily basis to fulfill the purpose that God has for me to fulfill. And once I started doing that, then I understood why I was created and what I was supposed to, because I wanted to see it visibly first. I want to see people acknowledge me. I want to see this. I want to see that. I wanted to see the benefits first. But God said, no, I'm not going to show you the benefits first. Because I always saw myself on stage. I saw myself speaking to people. I saw myself. And I said to God, I said, well, God, I see myself. He said, how can you see yourself? You haven't even intellectual, the sun. Because God created the sun and the moon. He created them for a reason. Remember, I said the sun represents the supreme source of spiritual intelligence. The supreme source of spiritual intelligence. So if the sun is the supreme source of the spiritual intelligence, the sun represents Jesus. Form that used the sun as the supreme source of spiritual intelligence. So when I started duality for what it was purposed for, things started manifesting in my life, and it still continued to manifest. I still see the results. I'm still seeing the results of using the sun. So light, star, action. I am the main character in my own movie or manifestation. I am it. And so when I started connecting who I was with who created me in my mind and identifying verbally in the mirror, the vault door opened and the stars started shining and leading me on my path to living and manifesting true purpose and with purpose. And so I want to say, continue to seek God. The combination will be given to you. I know my divorce, I remember God saying that He gave me the keys. And I can turn my situation whichever way I want it, for good or for bad. I had to sit there with that. Because God gave me the stars in the sky. There's a reason for that. And that's going to come just a little bit later. We're only on day 4. Now you have become the prominent character in your own movie. the prominent character to allow those dreams and those desires to come to pass. Remember, continue to tap into that area. It's the vault, it's the sky, it's that place where you got to sit with him. Even if he doesn't tell you immediately. And he said that, events have marked events of when I knew that God was leading and guiding me. Remember in scripture, it says that the sun he said, and God said, let there be lights in the vault of the sky to prepare the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times and days and years. So remember I said, August is a sacred time for me. August is a sacred time for me because that was when I transitioned and I started using the spiritual intelligence of God. And so the stars were lit in that vault. And I started moving to the destination, into the purpose, and living in purpose and living on purpose. To a life filled with love, joy, peace. It don't have anything to do with anybody else. It had everything to do with me. I take full ownership of me. Numero uno. So light, star, action. Light, star, activate. And God said, let their lights be in the vault of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them serve as signs to mark sacred times, days, and years. So the year was 2017. The day was August the 16th. That's when I became officially a star in my own movie. What I saw spiritually that I could have, it started activating for me. So I hope this helps someone today. Continue to extend to me grace. Continue to pray for me. Remember to subscribe to my page. And I will talk to you next time for day 5. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Live with purpose, live on purpose, and every day that you wake up, it's a purpose-filled day. It's not a destination. It's something that you intentionally do on a daily basis. Have a good one. Bye-bye.